Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew and today we are reviewing Gran Turismo 7 on the PlayStation 5. I did play a little bit of this on the PlayStation 4 Pro as well, using backward compatible on the PlayStation 5. Well, I played the PlayStation 4 version on the PlayStation 5. So, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to try to be as detailed about this particular review as I can. I have a long history of playing Gran Turismo. This is the first real racing simulator that I played back in the 90s when it first came out. I bought this I bought the first one the day it came out on my PlayStation. So, here we are. 5 generations in. This is the 7th mainline entry into the Gran Turismo series. This is not the first one to become live service, but this is the most recent one to become live service. So, with live service comes microtransactions. With microtransactions comes, you guessed it, people being upset about it. I am now 21 hours into this game. I have accumulated 2,650,000 credits, and I have driven 1,057 miles, and I have spent a total of $500,000 on cars and then $1 million on tuning said cars. So, as you can see, I've put a little bit of work into this. I have put a little bit of work into playing this. I am currently on Cafe Menu 38. I need to collect some Ferraris now. So, basically, this game here centralizes from the cafe. You will start out on your first menu book, and you'll have to get 3 cars. The way this game works is kind of like a story mode as opposed to previous Gran Turismos where you go into a menu, you pick the race you want to get into, you race the race, you get the reward, you buy a car, you upgrade it, you do another race. It has changed drastically. In my opinion, they have taken the best parts of Gran Turismo Sport as well as the best part of previous Gran Turismo games, and they have found a way to combine that into a story-like setting that will have you do different tasks to open up different parts of the game, as well as teach you different parts of the game and what each of the little things here in the valley are. You will do one mission that will open these, as well as the circuits. You will do a mission book, and you will be given you will open up the different locations and tracks in this game. There are a total of, what was it? 10, there's 30, there's 25, 29, so like 34 locations or whatever. So you got 34 locations with a total of, most of these tracks have different layouts, stuff like that. So yes, you do have to grind everything in this game, and that's where the microtransactions will come into play. Everything that you open up after you get to a certain point, the license part is still included in this. You can still get your licenses. I have achieved all my licenses already. I did all that on the live stream, and then you also have missions up here in the top. These missions you can do these different types of missions, and then you will get rewards for those. And as you can see, the difficulty starts off at 1 jalapeno, then you go to 2 jalapeno, 2 jalapeno, 3 jalapeno, 4, and 5 jalapenos. They get harder and harder. So those are pretty good. The missions are pretty good. They definitely add a lot of stuff to the game. I've only completed the first set of missions. I've got my licenses. The used car market. You can go to the used car market whenever you want, basically. Right at the beginning of the game, this is the only market that is open and available for you to purchase cars. As you can see, prices on these cars range anywhere from, oh, well, they don't range anywhere from like 12,000 for me anymore. They go all the way up. So they started at about 12. This is where you buy your first car, is in the used car market. You'll buy a car there, and then you will proceed to win races. Brand Central is the place where you can buy all of your cars. And this is where we're going to talk about microtransactions for a moment. So as what you can see is these little purple invitations here that I've gotten for these manufacturers allow me the opportunity to buy a car, because you have to get the invitation to buy these cars. And as you can see, the price of this car, the Lamborghini Veneno, is $3,640,000. Okay. So when I select this car and I go to purchase it, clearly I don't have the funds. So I go to the top up on PlayStation Store, which allows me to purchase those credits. The most you can buy is 2 million credits for $20. So you would have to, in fact, buy 2 of these if you had no credits to purchase that car. So in theory, that costs you $40, because as you can see, $10 only gets you 750,000. So that there is already cheap. 250,000 for $5, and then $2.49 for 100,000. None of these make sense. None of these make sense to buy. And I'll tell you why. If you spend $10 and you only get 750,000, but you get 2 million for 20, right there they're already cheating you out of 250,000 credits that you could have used. That you clearly should get for your $10. You should clearly get, if $20 gets you 2 million, $10 should get you 10 million. And then $5 should get you 500,000, or well, $10 should get you a million. $5 should get you 500,000, and $2.50 should get you 250,000. So right there, as you're looking at that, that seems a little bit like skewed to make you want to purchase this to do anything. And it will, and it kind of limits you from spending $30 to buy a car. You have to spend the 40. So it's definitely got that Fortnite pricing to it, which really sucks. That goes with the live service. Now let me tell you why you do not need to buy these, period. Don't waste your money on them. Don't waste your money. Gran Turismo has always been a game that has had a grind. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. There has always, oh, wait a minute, let's see this. I just noticed something. Expiration 3/20/2022. So you have a limited time to buy that car. You have a limited time to grind through all that. You have a limited time to grind to be able to take that invitation to buy that car. So therefore, now it's putting a hurry up, man. You better hurry up and get the money to buy this car, before you can't buy it. And as you can see, if the Lamborghini Veneno is your best good favorite car, let's go look at this for a minute. 3 days, and that was the 20th, so that gives you another, 14 days to buy that car. And in 3 days, 3 days logged in, actually technically 4 because I logged in the very first day, I've accumulated already 2,650,000. Of that 2 million, I've got $791,000 left. So if you didn't buy anything, which would be pretty interesting to see you be able to buy that and then work your way all the way up to where I'm at right now without spending any money to upgrade any cars. I mean, you probably could if you played everything on easy. You might be able to get there with just cars that you win. You might be able to do that. You might be able within that 20 days to grind out that money. But I will tell you this, now where I'm at in the game, I am gaining 50,000 credits a race. I'm gaining a lot more at where I sit right now. So the deeper you get into the game, the more credits you earn. In the very beginning of this game, it feels like a super grind. So I can understand how there's going to be a little bit of pressure for people to want to purchase these microtransactions and this stuff during this game. I do recommend that you don't do that. I don't recommend buying any of those microtransactions to buy cars. You don't need to. As it sits right now, with all of the gameplay that I've got in here right now, I already have a total of 74 cars. I've bought 4 of those. I've won 70 freaking cars in this game. Now, these little ticket things that you get after like winning a race or completing one of those books, it'll give you these 5 options. I have never won anything but cash on these. Never won a car, never won an engine, never won anything else. Whoa, I got a part. That's the first time I have ever won anything, and that's good for a Honda NSX Type R2, recommended retail type, not for sale. You have acquired a tuning part. It has been stored in tuning parts. That's cool. So that's the first time I've ever won a part. But you don't need to do that. You don't need to go out of your way to buy any cars. And look at some of these cars. I just won that Audi Quattro. This car I bought this one. I bought my Corvette. I bought that Taycan Turbo. I won this GRB rally car. I think I won this. Yeah, everything with a little present, I've won. Actually, I bought that Ford truck, and I believe I bought this BMW. So these 4 cars I bought. Everything else, oh, and I bought the Supra. Did I buy that one too? Okay, maybe I bought 6 cars. Sorry. 7 cars. I bought, yeah, okay, so I bought like 7, but I've got plenty of cars. Plenty of freaking cars to be able to do anything I need to do in this game. You don't need to buy anything. You should be able to grind everything you need to in this game, as well as being able to grind out those higher price cars. Now, here's where it gets a little bit really skewed. You have a legend car dealer as well. Now, if you go into here, these cars rotate out pretty often. And as you can see, this car right here, $4 million. So that's going to cost you $50 right there just to buy that car. $50. Two of the 20s and then a 10 popper just to get that, and you'll still have 125,000 credits left, or 150,000 credits left over after that. Then you could almost buy the Jag too. You could almost get them both for $50. So that might not be a bad deal to buy 2 cars for 50. But no, that's a terrible idea, man. Don't do that. Those cars can range all the way up to $20 million in the legend cars. So that's $200 cash if you decide you want to buy those. Okay. Now let's move on to Trackside Detail. This is going to be a little bit longer of a review. Sadly, this is a pretty decent game, but we're all right. Where the heck is that track at? Franco Jump. Afternoon. All right, so is what I'm going to show you is, like, this is not to, like, wait, what car am I in? Oh, I'm in a Ferrari. See, I won this Ferrari too. So we're just going to go look at a couple of things really quick. Some stuff that I noticed earlier while driving this track. I mean, as you can see, I haven't put any money into this car whatsoever. But it's, like, the driving in this game is 100%, like, on the point. Like, I love it. It is the perfect blend of simulation / arcade racer. It is literally the perfect blend. It feels good. It's easy to figure out, but it also feels good enough to be considered a sim racer. So you're wondering, why am I stopping right here? Well, actually, we need to turn around. So I think I went a little bit too far. Okay, now Trackside Detail. If you look up there at those trees, they are literally just like some flat planes that, I mean, you have to like look in between there to actually see those to understand what I'm talking about. They're not that distracting. It's just if you stop and you go off point, and that's the reason why I'm showing you this. You can find all kinds of negative stuff to say about this game if you look for it. Like it's not far away. It's not hard to find. It is literally hidden right in plain sight. If you really need to find something negative to say about Gran Turismo, there you can more than find it. And that sucks because this is a cross-platform game, so you're going to find that stuff very easy. Very easy. You're going to be able to find that stuff to critique and talk down on it. So if you get over here and you look at the side of this hill, you know, you get over here, you look out here. I mean, when you're really looking for it, you can find stuff to be like, ooh gosh, and you can compare this literally to Forza 7, and they look pretty similar. Even in 4K, like they look pretty similar. So there are plenty of things in this game to nitpick, to go out of your way to find problems with it. It's not hard to do, and I was gonna, make a whole bunch of videos about that and comparing it to Forza and all of that stuff, but you know what? After 21 hours of playing this game, my mindset on this game has completely changed to a point where I believe that if it wasn't on last gen consoles still, that it would be better. And I'll show you why I feel like that. So most of the problems that I'm talking about you're going to find them more in the courses that are real world stages. When you go to the courses that are built by Polyphony Digital for Gran Turismo, like Trial Mountain, Deep Forest, all these other all the other ones, like we'll go to Alsace real quick. We'll just do the regular one, and we'll do afternoon so you can see what I'm looking at. So as you look into this track, like Trackside Detail and everything, like all the trees, this track looks really good. Like this one holds up pretty freaking well. Even when you stop and you look out on the sides and everything like that, like this track here, the ones that are built by Polyphony Digital that are not 100% actual freaking real world tracks, they tend to look a lot better. They have a better artistic style to them. The road looks better. Everything looks better in these tracks that are built for this game, as opposed to the real world tracks. Now, some of the real world tracks do look good and hold up better than others. Some of the bigger ones, Nordschleife, Spa, where I was just at, and a couple of the other bigger ones, they do kind of use a lot more of the, you look out here at these flowers and stuff in this track. Let me change this. You look out here on the side of the roads and stuff, like in these tracks, they look better. Some of those real world tracks, the smaller ones, they do tend to look a little better than like some of the bigger ones that have just poster board trees and everything else, because like Mount Panorama, it looks really good. Catalunya, that one looks pretty good. There's some tracks in here that look really good, like Red Bull Ring looks really, really good. It's just the bigger ones that mainly have the that mainly show the most show the most flaws. So yeah, like I said, there's plenty of stuff that you can find in this game to clearly nitpick about it. I mean, when you look at car detail, I mean, you still don't get a camera that you can look 360 degrees around your car. That really sucks. If you stop and you look by the side of the ground, you know, like Trackside Detail, it could be a little better. Like, it could be a little better. There's no doubt about that. It could be better. But if you look at the sky in this game is rendered really nicely. I love that. And when the rain clouds are coming in to where it's going to start raining on the track, it looks so cool. The change is so gradual that when it starts raining, it looks believable. And it gives you this sense of like, wow, man, that's driving in the rain in this game is insane. Like when you're on the Nordschleife and it starts raining, it changes the whole freaking way you're playing. Like, this car doesn't stop that well because I haven't put any money into it at all whatsoever. I just barely won this car. Yeah, when you start putting the money into or like when it starts raining, the rain effect is so freaking cool, so nice, so beautiful. It really works. It looks really good, you know, in cockpit view. It looks really good when you're in the chase cam. Now, I've heard people talking about like the chase cam not being able to not liking the way it looks. So with the chase camera, you have near and you have far. So you can change that to near your car or far away. And also with cockpit view, you do have a little bit of actual adjustment now to where you can move the camera a little bit. So that's pretty cool. I actually believe that was in I believe that was in sport. It was kind of like that or whatever. I believe that was in there. Let's start that. Let's get back on the track so we can see this offset camera view is actually kind of pretty cool. This gives you a little bit wider view of what you're doing in here. So this one here is actually probably the better way to play that, because you're still feeling like you're looking right at the thing, but you get more of an actual view of what's going on the side of your car. So that there is really nice. They've done a lot with this game to really make it better. When you start off, you know, you get all the, like, here, let me just show you, just in case you're kind of new to this game. I don't want you to like struggle, but I don't recommend any of this driving line markers, any of this stuff. Let's see, now you'll have this little yellow line on the road that's going to show you where to go. I don't recommend using that. There's also these little yellow things right there. Me personally, not only do they kind of like ruin the experience or they're not very, they are helpful, but they're not helpful. I prefer to play without that kind of stuff. It makes the experience feel more realistic. Now this camera right here will take a little bit getting used to, for sure. But once you get this one down, like, this is freaking beautiful, literally beautiful. Makes you feel like, I mean, you could see so much more of the detail in the car. The dashboard looks freaking so nice like this. You're not like, you don't feel like you're right up against the steering wheel. But it will take a little bit to get used to, for sure. But this is probably one of the nicest freaking cockpit cams I've seen in a long time. You know, you can actually look around in this. I mean, you can't like see down in the chairs, but like you can get a pretty nice view of this car. Like, let's get out here on the road. Stop real quick. Kind of look around. Like, this looks great. This has got a lot of detail in it, and it is native 4K on a. Looks really good on an OLED. So I mean, the details here, and it looks pretty dang good. Well, I mean, I guess you could kind of look down a little bit, but just not too much. Like, that looks good. That looks really good. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about that. That looks good. You can see your full freaking rear view mirror. The reflection in the mirror is crystal clear. It looks clean. It looks sharp. It can get a little distracting if you get to a certain point, because then stuff starts to disappear. But as I'm showing you right now, like these tracks that they've built themselves, they look really, really good. Racing in this feels good, handling even on the controller. So now we're going to get to the controller, and we're going to talk about haptic feedback in this review. Haptic feedback is kind of a hit or miss on every PlayStation game I have ever played. The only real complaint I have about the haptic feedback in this is I would like a little bit more force feedback, or not force feedback, but more detailed feedback on the road surface. Like right now when I'm driving, I can't feel nothing. I can't feel my car moving, and I feel like if there was like a low rumble or something to simulate the tires rolling on the ground, I feel like that would definitely add to the immersion a lot more, because you only get it when you're turning, or like kind of you don't really feel it that well. So I want it to kind of feel a little more like it does when I'm on the rally stages, on the road stages. It just feels like too smooth, and I can't really. It's kind of hard to tell when you're on the edge when it comes to that. It has gotten better. Like I'm starting to understand it a little more. It's starting to feel a lot better. In the haptics for the most part. It still could use a little bit of work. Maybe a little bit more sensory stuff. You know, that's kind of what they sold us when they was telling us about DualSense. And as of yet, I just have not been able to really come to grips with that and really understand exactly how that's supposed to feel, or what it's supposed to be delivering to me. But now let's turn our attention to the triggers, haptic triggers. So in a car, if you have ABS, if you push the brakes all the way down, you'll get like a pulsar, like it'll pulsate. You do get that on the controller as well as when you take off. You know, when you like start going pretty fast, when you're at stop and you start hitting the gas, you do feel the tires kind of move a little bit. So that's pretty cool. When you hit the e-brake, you can feel that. So as far as I'm concerned, like haptics is about, I would rate haptics on this about 60 or whatever. Like those clouds right there just literally look beautiful. Those look beautiful. The way the HDR and everything is working inside those clouds looks freaking amazing. Like you'll see some really nice stuff like that while you're playing this game. Beautiful looking vistas, mainly on the tracks that they've created. I really like those. So now that we've talked about the microtransactions, the story, the layout, let's get back out of this race and talk about some of the other, the other stuff that are part of this, and move along with this. Sorry about this review being so long, but there's enough stuff to get out there so you understand why I'm giving it the score I'm going to give it. All right. Okay, so from this point on, everything I have to say now is going to be 100% good, and like I'm loving this now. So, like I said before, you have 34 different tracks. Everything that was in Gran Turismo Sport has returned. There are obviously the new additions of Deep Forest. What was the other ones? Deep Forest, as well as Is it just Deep Forest? No, it should be Deep Forest, Trial Mountain. Yeah, Deep Forest and Trial Mountain, and then the special stage I think was there in the last one too. So Trial Mountain and Deep Forest. Is that really the only ones that are? No, it's Deep Forest Raceway. Trial Mountain. There's another one that was in here. Is it the high speed ring? Suzuka. Okay, I don't know. I don't remember. Okay, so 34 tracks, bunch of different layouts. There's plenty of places to drive on that, so that definitely gives you something to do. You're going to see a lot of them. Sport has returned in its full entirety. This is the full Sport from Gran Turismo Sport, so they're both combined now. That there's also a reason why this is 100% online now is because everything you do in Sport, everything you do in the game is all tied to your driver rating and your sportsman rating, just like it was on Gran Turismo Sport, so that there is going to follow you around. There is no way to get rid of it. If you mess up during a race like that, it's all going to be saved. And because of that, because of it all, it's always online in nature, you will be able to use your exact same save. It doesn't matter if you're playing on your PlayStation 4 Pro or your PlayStation 5. You don't need to upload any save. You don't need to download any save. It's all going to be there no matter what system you're playing it on. So that is pretty cool. That is, in fact... No, that's cross save. Cross save, cross-gen save built right into that. So that's pretty cool. I wish Sony would implement that with all of their games or find a way to do that, seeing as we literally have to pay $60 a year to have our saves backed up in the cloud. So it would be nice if we could use that save on whatever console we decide to play our dual entitlement on. That would be awesome. So if you do pay the $69.99 for this game, you do get, in fact, dual entitlement for both copies of this game. So if you still have a PlayStation 4 Pro hooked up in your room or somewhere else and you want to play this, you can have this game downloaded on both consoles at the same time, and you can still play them both at the same time. So that's pretty cool. But like I said, everything will be tied to your one save. It doesn't matter what console you're playing it on. So that is pretty freaking cool. Let's talk a minute now about Gran Turismo. So this is probably my favorite Gran Turismo game in a very long time. I really liked Sport. I was one of those people that were like, dang man, Sport is freaking solid. Finally, everything I've been learning throughout the last 20 years playing Gran Turismo, I can now use that to just go straight online and play with other people. And there's this new safety rating and sportsmanship and driver rating and all this stuff that I can work on and start to get better and everything else. That was awesome. Gran Turismo has definitely found a way to bring that Gran Turismo experience to longtime fans like me, as well as new people that are just coming to the series, and streamline it to the point where I still get my nostalgic grind that feels good and it feels like I'm playing a true Gran Turismo experience, but it doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, it doesn't feel like a terrible grind. Because, I mean, let's face it, back in the day when you were playing Gran Turismo, yeah, you could jump out and go time trial, do whatever you wanted on any track. But were you, or were you just stuck in the grind doing the thing? So either way, they just kind of cut out. I mean, they didn't cut it out. They just moved it to a different experience, a different layout that still delivers that same grind, but it does suck because now you have to grind out all these tracks. That does kind of suck. If you're somebody that just wants to get in there and play the game and play the game and play the game and just do time trials like that, I like to do that. But with Gran Turismo, it's a little bit different. And the way they've created this experience for me, it's made it to where it's like, wow, you know what? I actually kind of want to sit down and do that grind. I kind of want to experience this experience in the way it was created, the way it was designed for this actual game. I'm finding lots of enjoyment with this. I haven't found any reason to be upset with it. I haven't, I'm really happy with the way it has turned out. This is probably, hands down, my favorite Gran Turismo experience in a long time. 4 was probably the pinnacle. This here is the ultimate, experience. Because it was all the way up till 6? Gran Turismo Sport is when they implemented the new handling model and all of that stuff, and this here has refined that even more to where it feels a lot better even on a controller. Oh man, I'm a lot happier with this than I was it feels like a much better, a more thought out, more carefully crafted, planned experience that ties everything in Gran Turismo history together into one beautiful package that is now live service, that will continue to receive content updates for at least the next 4 years. I could see this being supported for at least 4 years. I would like to see this supported throughout the rest of this generation. I don't necessarily know if they should have to continue to support it on the PlayStation 4, but at least PlayStation 5 at least continue to support it and enhance the experience in any way they can as they go forward. That would be amazing. As it sits right now, this is probably going to be my highest rated Gran Turismo experience ever. I'm going to give it a 9.8. 9.8. The reason why it's getting a 9.8 is because of the fact that I do kind of feel like them microtransactions might be a little bit off. It might force people to really want to. It might force people into thinking that they're going to have to spend a lot of money. I've been playing Gran Turismo for 25 years. I know what cars that are going to, or how to upgrade the cars, how to take advantage of one car for multiple sets of races. Those types of things that somebody new to this might just be out there all willy-nilly, just oh yeah, they get a car and they waste all their money upgrading it. And that's it. It's kind of like a Resident Evil game in that sense, where you got to kind of manage what you're doing, or you could spread yourself so thin that you just don't have the money or the resources to upgrade a car that you need, or purchase a car every car I've won every car I've needed to race in any of the races so far. But you might get to a certain point where you might feel like you have to spend money just to continue to progress. I haven't had that problem at all, not even a little bit. As you can see, I've got almost 1 million credits just sitting there. And I have a car that I need right now to go do the next set of menu boards. So I've been fine. I've literally just been buying stuff and wasting money, wasting credits on stuff that I want to do, as opposed to having oh man, I need to do that. I haven't had one instance yet in this game where I have not been able to do exactly what I needed to do when I needed to do it. So that's why I'm giving it a 9.8. This is probably my highest rated Gran Turismo experience ever. This is by far the best experience I've had with Gran Turismo. The handling is on point. The cars feel good. The detail in the cars is pretty high. Most of the tracks, I would say about half and half. Some look perfect. The other half, there's obviously some stuff that you can literally go out of your way to find to to drag down this experience if you need to do that. It is a solid experience. It is 100% a solid experience. I would have given it a solid 10. That's the way I was feeling. I was going to give it a solid 10, but I just can't do that due to the microtransactions and some of those tracks just not feeling polished, and the AI is still a little they're either way too easy or they're way too hard. It's the AI definitely needs a little bit of balance in there for sure. So basically, yeah, a 9.8. I'm really happy with this experience. I've already blown through 2 whole freaking days playing through it, and I love it. I just want more. I just want to continue to play it. I really hope that the content keeps coming pretty quick for this. If you look back at Gran Turismo Sport, I think they were doing content like monthly on that, so I feel like they could possibly or potentially be able to pick up from that and continue to support this one going forward, because I don't think we've had any content for at least the last year or so on GT Sport. Not anything really meaningful. So if they were just changing gears to be able to create content to start bringing it to Gran Turismo 7, that's awesome. If that is the case, I will update my review and like really go if they I personally wouldn't have deducted points for the microtransactions because I haven't had to use them, but due to the nature of this game and the sheer amount of different types of cars and customization options that you can do with those cars, it's if you want to fully enjoy all of that stuff to its fullest at first during the game, you're not going to really have that option to do that. So I feel like a lot of people could potentially be spending a lot of money, because when you get over here into the GT Auto, where you can maintenance and service your car, if you go into this part right here, you can spend $50,000 to do a wide body. I'm going to go ahead and install that on this car just so you can kind of see what that looks like. It will widen the body, make it look more racing, and then you can get out of there. That'll apply that. We're gonna do a little bit more in here. So that there was 50. I mean, you saw how much I had. I had almost, and then you stay in here. You can go over here to customize the car. This is all body types of stuff, so we'll put some of these on there. Those look pretty cool. We'll go ahead and keep those at that size. We'll do some wide ones. Wide install. Okay, that was 4,000 right there for rims. Go to front. Put that on. That's 7,000. Do the side. That's another 4,000. There is no rear on this car, but you can do a custom wing. So you can do high, low. We'll go with high, and then you can do any different ones of these right here. We'll go with those. Whatever, it just doesn't even matter. They just more material. I'm trying to get more for my bang for my buck. So as you can see right there, you can do all of that, and that took me down to almost, I spent almost 100,000 points just on that. If you go in and you want to put money into the actual car itself in the tuning shop, there are different levels to this. You got sports, club, semi-racing, racing, and extreme. The prices in extreme is where it starts to get more. If I wanted to change my body, I need to spend almost 300,000 for a new engine, 121. You could see as each rung on here, the prices do get a little bit higher. They're not too bad if you do it in moderation, if you only buy what you need when you need it. But you can very quickly, if you spread yourself too thin amongst a lot of different cars, you could definitely find yourself needing to spend a lot of money on parts pretty quick. Usually what I do if I need to use a car in a race, I will put the soft tires on there. I'll buy the soft tires. you know, just to give me a little boost, you know, now that I've got racing open, I'll buy these parts right here, you know, like the air filter from here. They usually give me more bang for my buck, and the muffler there. Get myself a little bit more power. Always go for this. I always go for better brakes. You always want good brakes, no matter what car you buy. So as you can see, I over 100,000 points right there just to upgrade that car to where it will be more manageable on the road, and it looks pretty cool now too. Whatever. So like I said, I give this game a 9.8. This is my favorite Gran Turismo experience to date. I've been playing these for 25 years. I really do feel good about this game, and I do feel like it is. I feel like this is the best work they've done on a Gran Turismo game for the most part. I'm really excited to see where this goes this generation and to see exactly how this turns out. I'm here for the ride, and if you're on a PlayStation 5, this game right here has more than justified me buying a PlayStation 5. I feel 100% better about it now. Horizon Forbidden West did a pretty good job at helping me mitigate that as well. I'm starting to feel a lot better about my PlayStation experience. If you've been watching this channel for a while, then you know that it's been kind of hit or miss with me this generation. So this is an Xbox channel, and I just rated a PlayStation game at a 9.8 because it's a good game. It's a solid game, and I think more people should play it. So we will continue to do this. So if you like this content, you thought this was interesting, if you would like to see more videos on this game or on other racing games in general, don't forget to leave a comment. You know, hit me up with any questions you have. I'll be more than happy to answer those. And if you like this content, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.